Welcome to Jackson, Michigan, home of the Michigan Theater, where several spirits are believed to haunt the halls. We were invited to join Central Michigan Paranormal Investigations on their annual visit to the haunted theater to see if we could capture any evidence of the location's ghostly inhabitants. Every time CMPI investigates here, they capture compelling evidence. Eager to see if we'd be as lucky, we headed out to Jackson with our equipment and crew. When we arrived that night at the theater, we had no idea we were about to witness and participate in the paranormal performance of a lifetime. Today we're headed about 78 miles west of Detroit to Jackson, Michigan. Settled in 1829 at the meeting point of several Indian trails, it was named for U.S. President Andrew Jackson. Jackson, Michigan was the birthplace of the Republican Party and a key stop on the Underground Railroad. Jackson Station, the nation's oldest operating passenger railway station in the country, is where many slaves hopped on a train bound for freedom. Tonight we'll be investigating the historic Michigan Theater, located in the heart of downtown Jackson. Rusty Jones and his team, Central Michigan Paranormal Investigations, have been investigating this property annually for several years and have had a variety of paranormal experiences during their visits. In the theater balcony, the apparition of a woman has been seen sitting, watching the stage. The spirit of a little girl has also been seen running between the bathrooms upstairs. On one of their investigations, they were even able to capture an EVP of a woman's voice saying, "It's cold in here," in the ladies' restroom. There are many possibilities as far as who the spirits residing in the theater could be. Workers, volunteers, perhaps even passionate theater patrons could be haunting the Michigan Theater. Known as the last and largest theater in Jackson, Michigan, the Michigan Theater was opened April 30th, 1930. It was built for the mainstream entertainment of the time, vaudeville and movies. The stage saw high-profile acts from all over the country. Bob Hope, Boris Karloff, and Groucho Marx were a few of the most notable acts. We're told Lucille Ball even performed at the theater.
Well, this is the best kind of car ride.
Yeah.
One with Rusty. Now we gotta kidnap ya. Bye.
Yeah. Bye-bye.
All right.
When we arrived at the theater, CMPI was hard at work setting up surveillance and getting equipment ready for the night. Rusty Jones has worked very hard converting this old ambulance into the command center for all CMPI investigations. From inside this vehicle, they're able to monitor their cameras, communicate via walkie-talkies, and stay warm in the winter.
Sadie doesn't look like she's doing too good, TBH.
Dude, I wish I could run like that.
Right?
Move it. Seriously. She looks like she's doing awesome. She's like, yeah, I can touch my toes.
Turn it to the
She
left.
probably sees a lot of
your
money
left.
adjustments.
She's more flexible than I am. I didn't expect this.
Right? And say something at the very end, walks
Yeah, you'll
across.
see the dots. You see how my hand, the dots are wiggling around? That's what you would see, is like how the dots kind of like get displaced and it loses the gridness.
Yeah.
Cool.
Gridness.
Gridness. We're real good at making up words.
Right?
Setting up a camera surveillance system has a few advantages during a paranormal investigation. First, if any apparitions or visual anomalies appear, hopefully the cameras will be able to capture them. Second, this footage helps us keep a record of where investigators are and what is happening from multiple angles. This can be helpful later on during our review when it's time to debunk or prove what we've experienced as paranormal phenomenon or not. The more area that's monitored by cameras, the better.
This is fun. Thanks, Rusty.
The right way now just needs to be adjusted.
Oh, heck no.
I have no clue what's going on now.
Keep spinning. Keep
What about
spinning.
now?
No.
Yeah, but we still got time.
Wait, keep going. Keep going.
Keep going?
Yep. Stop. Stop.
Too far, too far.
Oh, you're going the wrong way. Go back.
Okay,
a little more.
Upside down. Oh, sorry. Are we in the way?
I feel like I'm watching some psychedelic movie.
I'll go up.
Will you go help her?
As Jessica, you get winded.
Winded. So breezy. Easy breezy, beautiful, spooky girl. Before the crew went lights out, we split up to do a little pre-investigating. We were particularly intrigued by the ladies' room on the second floor and wanted to check out the spot where CMPI had captured the EVP. Since we had at least 10 investigators, the plan for the night was for us to split off into smaller groups. While a few groups investigated, the others monitored the activity on the surveillance cameras from the headquarters outside. This would help prevent us from contaminating our own evidence by mistaking our fellow investigators' footsteps for those of a ghost. We also spent some time checking out the hallway between the bathrooms where the spirit of a little girl is said to be seen running and playing. Before splitting off into our own groups, we wanted to get a sense of the place and decide which areas were most intriguing to us. The theater is quite large and has multiple levels, so we knew we had a lot of ground to cover that evening.
So this is the mirror where I don't know if they said they saw somebody in it. But they got an EVP in here of a lady saying it's cold. But like people will say like if you put mirrors back to back like that.
Right.
That's creates weirdness.
It's definitely weird. I mean, you can definitely see. It's harder to look at from that way.
Yeah.
But it's definitely like overlapping worlds. This wrought iron is just crazy to me.
Oh, that was wonderful footage of you tapping your nails. I'm so sorry. I'm so excited.
Let's go down together. Let's all go down together.
After discovering the overlapping mirrors, we had to wonder. Some believe that overlapping mirrors create vortexes or portals to other dimensions through which spirits can enter and exit. Could this vortex be the cause of the apparitions and disembodied voices experienced in this area of the theater?
We spent a few more minutes exploring the lobby area and preparing for the first groups to enter the dark and empty theater. Once each group had completed their independent investigations, the group would reconvene to explore the upper level and the projection booth. Not comfortable at all. Like, this is like not okay. This type of bed is the kind that is like waterproof, so you can like pee on it. This is us documenting that we are sitting on the creepiest bed in the creepiest room that we have ever seen. Here we are sitting on this terrifying bed, kicking our feet like
10-year-olds.
Taking a nap.
Taking a nap, snoozing.
Eager to see if we'd be able to communicate using any of our tools, CMPI set up their REM pod, a device that detects and alerts us to electricity in its proximity. If anything comes close to the antenna, the device responds with a tone and corresponding light. We were able to conduct a variety of experiments with our EMF meters, spirit box, dowsing rods, and digital voice recorders. Although our EVP session had no ghostly participants, we still had hope that something strange and unusual would happen that evening. Even though it seemed like no one was willing to speak with us or show themselves at this point, several members from both teams heard what sounded like male voices and conversation happening. The activity seemed to be coming from the area underneath the orchestra pit, which piqued our curiosity. Before the night was over, we would all convene for an intense communication session above the stage, but before we headed up, Rusty took us for a tour of the theater's underground tunnels.
Since our previous attempts with the spirit box hadn't rendered any notable results, we wanted to try a more isolated approach, hoping that it would invite more intimate communication.
We have recorders going, so we'll be able to check it again later, but we couldn't understand you in the moment there, so if you could please repeat what you were trying to say to us, we would appreciate it very much.
I don't know if there's a cord here, but it feels like someone's like touching my upper thigh. I don't know where the cord's at. No. An interesting goal.
Well, my name is Hillary.
There's 100% footsteps again, same area, over this way. More orchestra music.
Are you dancing?
Ooh, just got really bad chills.
Why don't you tap her on her left shoulder? She can't hear us saying this, but if you tap her, she'll feel it. And then we'll know.
Week after, well, I'm afraid Hillary's gonna grab my leg. Ah!
Could you touch her right shoulder? That was pretty good. Or her, did I say left or right? I'm sorry, now I'm confusing you. Left. Let's stick with left. I'm so sorry. Could you tap her left shoulder, please?
More orchestra music. Quiet. I have to hear. Did we make it?
Give her a real good poke on
Yes.
Poke her left arm.
Are the skies?
This side. Poke her left arm. Poke her right here.
It seems like time's doubled up.
Give her a poke just like this.
Are you the conductor? Is this your masterpiece? Who is here with us?
There's got to be someone on this stage right now.
Go ahead. Give her a poke on the left shoulder. Move to her left side and tap her shoulder. It'll scare her. It'll be very funny. And we'll also be very amused by it. But she
Feel
won't mind.
around. Ooh. Ooh. I felt like somebody just did like this. We'll have to check that on the camera. I felt like somebody like plucked my hoodie.
Thank you so much.
Come on, go ahead and touch me. It's okay.
That was fantastic. So, is this Kevin that we're
More
speaking
orchestra
to?
music. Why you come around?
We answered that in the beginning. Now I just think you're just not listening.
Hard time with you?
We're pretty
What was
annoying.
wrong? Why was it a hard time?
All right. Yeah. I'm going to get her. Thank you so much. We really appreciate it.
Found it.
I'm going to pull her out.
Laughing.
Alright, well, don't follow any of us. You can stay here. This is your home.
Sorry. Every time. That's the most amusing part is when I touch anybody and it turns into a whole thing.
When we arrived at the Michigan Theater that evening, we had no idea we'd leave having had one of the most thrilling and intriguing paranormal experiences of our lives so far. We are so grateful to Rusty Jones and Central Michigan Paranormal Investigations for inviting us to join them and can't wait to visit this location again. After our jaw-dropping encounter with the spirit on stage, we're dying to know more. For more information on CMPI and to contact them about an investigation, check out their page at facebook.com/Central Michigan Paranormal Investigations.